Hello, everybody. Just thought I would jump in here. It's a little bit late. It's about 1:26 a.m. in the morning here in south central Kentucky. But thought I would jump in here. I've been very frustrated. I left, I connect my laptop to my Rodecaster Pro, and I left the little USB hub, the little dongle I plug into the side of my laptop. I left it at a friend's house, I think, tonight. So I've been trying to connect the Rodecaster through Bluetooth and other modes, which it has, but it's been very frustrating. So the audio quality was terrible, absolutely horrible. But I finally, out of going through all my cables I have for my iPads, my iPhones, and everything, I finally found a USB-C to USB-C cable. It was part of my charger. It was the charger for my MacBook. The charger cable plugs into this, and then it plugs into the laptop. And I just, for like an hour, I didn't realize I could just pull out that cable because I was charging the laptop. I didn't want it to run down or whatever. So, but I realized I could pull it out and then plug it directly into the Rodecaster. So I think the audio is good now. I think everything's sounding good. But, so here I am, another night. It was my birthday yesterday. Today's October 26th, so my birthday was yesterday. Had a good time. A friend of mine, probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock, she invited me over to her house for dinner. Just a good friend of mine. I mean, it was nice, and her daughter needed me to assist with her tablet, to get her tablet working for school and everything, and being the nerdy guy I am, that was sort of the highlight of my evening, helping with that tablet. It was just an iPad, and it was locked. It just said hook up to iTunes, and so I hooked it up to my laptop, and currently my friend doesn't have Wi-Fi at her home, so I connected to her hotspot, and even with the 5G she had, it was going to take 50 minutes, and probably around 10 or 15 minutes into the download of the iPad software or whatever, it failed, and then when I restarted it started all back at the beginning again. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep doing this or whatever. So I loaded my laptop with the iPad and the cable connected to it into the car, and I drove to the fastest. It was only 5 minutes away. I drove to the fastest hotspot that I knew in town, and I was able to, in less than 10 minutes, I was able to download the iPad OS 16.1 and do an update, but the update failed, and I had to do a restore. The restore worked. So after the restore, we had to remember the iCloud username and password. We went through a couple iterations and incorrect username and password, but we finally hit the right one, and then I was able to restore the iPad for her daughter to use for school. So, I don't know. I'm such a nerd. That was the highlight of my evening, being able to help somebody with something that was difficult. And with school these days, kids have to. They have to, if you're like an above average or an above average income, the school doesn't really help you with a device of any kind, like a laptop or something that can do the schoolwork remotely through the remote program or whatever. And if you're poor, they'll give you a brand new laptop. I mean, it's probably just a Chromebook or a cheap Android tablet or a cheap Android tablet laptop or whatever. But my friend, even though she's a small business owner and everything, it's just, it was very frustrating to get this working, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to delve too much into that, but but that was the highlight of my evening. And then she, like I said, she had some food made up, and I went over there, and for my birthday, she had a little creme brulee, and she torched it and melted the sugar on top, and so I had that with a little candle in it. So that was good. I hung out there for about maybe 2 hours, two and a half hours, and then I ran up to my local pub and met up with some other friends, and two or three, four, probably 3 or 4 or 5 other friends, 5, 6, I don't know. Everybody knows me at the pub, but I talked to probably about 4 of them. But I do have to give some credit to two friends of mine from Russia, from the good old former Soviet Union, the CCCP. My friend Evelina and my friend Ivan Golitsyn. Evelina, she was the first actually who wished me a happy birthday through Instagram, and then my friend and Evelina's boyfriend Ivan, he wished me a happy birthday through Facebook later in the day. So thank you guys, really appreciate it. It was nice to hear from both of you, and Evelina, you were, like I said, you were the first one who wished me happy birthday last night. It was actually the 24th. It was the 25th for you. 7 hours ahead. So probably about 6 or 7 in the morning, whatever time it was in Europe or Moscow or wherever you are right now. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Ivan, and your story and videos that you've been putting out on your channel. So good evening overall, even though it rained a little bit after I got up to the pub. It started raining probably around, 8 o'clock. And it's been sort of going on and off here through the evening. Again, it's late now, so I think the rain stopped for the night. But yeah, so other than that, I talked to another friend of mine that I met actually through, it's sort of a long story, but sort of through YouTube. I started listening to a radio communications guy called Nada Rubicon. I've mentioned him here on the channel a few times. So I met this fellow through Nada Rubicon's channel. He set up a GMRS repeater at his home, and then you could access that repeater through an app on your iPhone. And then while I was talking on his repeater through that app, I connected with a guy, and he's a younger guy. I think he's in Southern California. But it was, and I sort of told him my ham radio story and my radio story, which I've posted previously on this channel. And come to find out tonight, he actually recently got his ham radio license. He already had his GMRS license through the FCC, but he recently got his ham license, and we chatted for a little bit on iMessage, and I plan on bringing him on to one of these broadcasts just to get a different perspective from a younger guy that doesn't live near me on the communications topic. So yeah, Enrique. Let me see here. Enrique Miranda is his name, and I'm a friend of his on Facebook. We have phone numbers too, so I'll probably bring him on through iMessage or FaceTime or Signal. I think he's on the Signal app as well. And I met a few others there too, so I might try to bring both of them on. They're both, if I'm not mistaken, they're both Southern California, Hispanic, all American, hardworking, type of guys. I really connected with both of them through that GMRS repeater that was put up by Nada Rubicon through the Zello app. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a couple of points out here. Now, I did talk a little bit about the structure of the podcast here that I mentioned the other day in a shorter video, but there's a lot going on in my life at the moment, and we were supposed to put one out over the weekend, but due to me having my daughters and my mom going through some health issues and everything, I was just mentally sort of out of it and had a lot going on, so I had to cancel the time that me, my buddy Waza, and Alex were, and we even had another guest that we planned on bringing on, but we canceled that on a Saturday afternoon, probably around noontime, or it was probably around 1 o'clock actually when I sent out the message. So I apologize for not getting one out over the weekend. Even though I wanted to get sort of a structured broadcast going and everything, and I haven't even broken this to Alex or Waza, but probably for the time being, at least through like November, December, with everything going on in my life and the holidays coming up and the irregular schedule I have with my kids, seeing my kids and everything, I'm probably going to do more individual podcasts. I'll probably bring on some random people, like I mentioned, Enrique and the other guy out in California, a local friend of mine that hasn't been on here yet. I'll probably get Waz on here. We'll talk some communication survival stuff, some current events, and then, Alex separately. It's just been really hard to get everybody, and it's mostly my fault, but to get everybody together at the same time, at the same place. So probably through the end of this year, 2022, I'll probably sort of keep it sort of individual podcasts like now, and then maybe with one other guest each time, and try not to make it more than, 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most each, and just sort of see where it goes, and then if it goes well, I might, record like I am now, and then maybe tomorrow I'll bring on one of the guys, and then I'll cut the videos together, and you won't even know that they weren't all on at the same time. But I'll have like Waza, I'll have like, a segment with him, I'll have Alex and a segment with him, and whoever else. So, yep. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video up a little bit and put it out there as an update. So have a good night, and peace out.